Hello beautiful soulmates, welcome back to the channel. So today we're making this beautiful slitted BUBU dress. So here are the things you'll be needing: your pattern paper, your ruler, your pencil, your chalk, your scissors, tape rule, stay, then your material, either plain pattern. You could use ashoke, whatever you'd like to use. You could also use ankara depending on what you want, but I was using brocade here. And then for the plain pattern I used mikado silk, depending on what you want, but advisably you have to use a thick material that's going to be able to stand. So after that, we're going to take our pattern paper, put all those remaining materials to the side, take our pattern paper and all the measuring tapes and ruler and pencil, and we get right into the measurements. So after that, we're going to measure the pattern paper. So mind you, this design is for the back and the front together. So here we're trying to get the center of the pattern paper. So the wideness of the pattern paper is 17 inches, which by the time you fold it into two is going to be 8.5. So that's what I was marking, the 8.5 inches. So we'll join all of it together to get the center of the pattern paper, because we really need the center of the pattern paper while we're drafting our design. So after we've got the pattern, we've gotten the center of the pattern paper, we're going to take the measurement of the front design. So we're going to take 20 inches and mark where 20 inches reach. That's going to be the center of our neck. That's our neck center. So that's where we're going to be cutting our neck from, because the design goes both front and back. So after that, you're going to fold your pattern paper into two in order to get the other remaining measurements. So after you folded it, you take your tape rule again and measure from the beginning of the pattern paper. You measure 5 inches. The wideness that we're using is 10 inches for the design. So from the beginning, then at the point, we're going to add 3 inches to it. So from our neck, that's where we initially notched the neck point, we're going to measure 9 inches downwards. If you notice on one side of the design, there's a little extra fabric there. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, Shash, in the design. So that's where it's going to start, from the extra 3 inches that we're going to add to the side. So here I was just trying to measure 5 inches straight downwards, and then we join them together to where that 9 inches is reaching. Remember, we started the 9 inches from the neck point, not from the beginning of the paper. If you're going to start from the beginning of the paper, you just add 4 inches. But then, remember, it's not from the beginning of the paper. So after we've done that, we go to that 9 inches point and add 3 inches allowance to it for the side that has extra fabric design. And then we join our dots together. So after that, just measuring the whole measurement for that area, which was 8 inches, just duplicated it at the lower part of the pattern paper and I connected them together. So after I did this side, we turned to the other side of the pattern paper and we'll just measure 5 inches all through, since one side of the design is straight and the other side has an extra I don't know what to call it. I don't know why words are failing me this time, but then You get what I'm saying? So we just join the lines, the dots together. After that, you take your scissors and cut. Mind you, when you're cutting, don't make the mistake of cutting the designs together. Or cut it one by one. You can open it so you don't forget. So when you're done doing that, you go to the center of the neck. You measure 1 inch upwards, and then for the width, I use 2.5. Depending on what you want to use, how wide you want the neck to be, you can use 3 inches, but don't let it be too wide so that the design will still be fine. Because the neck of the design is a little bit still firm, not completely loose. So here we're just trying to connect the dots together to be able to create our neck. So that's the back, the back neck, abi. That's for the back of the dress. After I've successfully cut the back of the neck, you open the paper to be able to cut the the front of the neck. So after you've done that, make sure you check that the area you're cutting is where you're supposed to cut. Like this area now is a straight area. It's the straight area. So the straight area also has a straight line because the neck has a triangular shape. So after you've done that, you take your tape from the beginning of the front neck, you measure 8 inches downwards, and then you connect your lines together. Your dots, I mean. So after that, from the dots where you connected 8 inches to the other side, you form a triangular shape. Have you seen what I was trying to explain? So make sure the design falls on the right place when you're cutting, so it doesn't come out the wrong way. So make sure to check that. And then I was just imagining if this neck was going to enter my neck, if the neck was going to enter my head because it looked too small. So here we're just cuffing it with freehand because the back is not sharp, doesn't have a sharp edge, it has a cuff edge. And then after we've done that, we go to the straight side of the pattern or the design. I was trying to just curve it as well, but then it's always not comfortable for me to use the other side, and I was considering my viewers, so you understand what I'm doing. So here I just took away 1.5 from the edge, so the curve will come out very well. And then I freehand carved it, drew it. So after that, you're done with the design, so you just pin it down on your pattern, your fabric, whichever fabric you're using. You could use ashoke, you could use plain, I said that earlier. So just pin them down and then you cut it. So here I said I was skeptical of the neck entering my head, so I just had to reshape it. So here you cut, leaving 1/2 inch for the seam allowance and round. And then remember that when you're placing your paper, the design is upwards, not downwards, so you don't make the mistake of putting the design the wrong way. So after we've cut it, you cut out the neck, and then you take it to your ironing table, you iron your stay with it. You could also use tissue stay, depending on what you have available at the time. And then here, we're done with the design. We take our fabric and fold it into 4. While you fold it into 4, remember that the folded parts, remember that you have to leave 2 inches at the other side, just like you're folding your zipper allowance. So you leave 2 inches. That's the front of the dress where your slit is going to be. It's because of the slit we're leaving 2 inch allowance. And then after you've done that, we go into measurements. So here I'll just creating a straight line so that I'll be able to work with a straight accurate measurement. So here I was taking the measurement of the shoulder, which I used 16.5. Apparently my material was not enough. I was supposed to use 19 inches, but then my fabric was not enough, so I had to manage. I think I got 2 inches, 2 yards, I mean. So you could get more, probably 3 yards. And depending on how big you want it or your size, you could get something bigger. You get 4 yards max. But then considering the height, because I'm not so long, I can use the length of 60. I'm not so tall, I say long. I can use the length of 60. But if you're taller, you could just buy 4 yards and fold it the other way around, advisably. So after you've done that, you measure your sleeve. I used 10 inches, then I took 1 inch. I used 11 inches and I took 1 inch out for the shoulder part. And then I went to the side, took out 2.5 inches for the sides of the clothes. And then here I was just cutting out the excess from the factory side. Okay, I'm saying. So you're just cuffing the armhole to the sides of the cloth and then we cut it out. So here I've not cut out the shoulder part because I need to do something in that area. So after we've done that, we have to take away 1/2 inch from the shoulder and the under sleeve area of the dress. Just like I'm doing here. So that the lower part of the sleeve is not going to be longer than the upper part, That place is, your armhole is inside, so it's not going to be longer. After we've done that, I took the paper, my pattern paper, and I used it to measure 5 inches out. So that's where I started the slant from. I didn't start from the beginning of the fabric. Why is that? If I had started from the beginning of the fabric, I won't be able to join that design correctly to the clothes. I would have to pleat the design either at the back or at the shoulder area. So that's why it was like that. So after we've done that, we take the front of the material, the cloth, the dress, and then we'll measure from the beginning to where we want our slit to reach. I measured 36 inches. So after that, you make sure you sew it down, and then when you get to the 36 inches, you stitch it very well, and then you iron, because this material it needs ironing. So you iron, so it will be very neat. So here I was ironing this slit. I folded it by 1 inch and then I added gum because I didn't want to sew in the front of the slit. I didn't want to sew on the slit. So iron, plenty ironing. After you've ironed it and it's very smooth to your satisfaction, you take the front and go and join it together with 1/2 inch. After you've done it, you come back and iron again. After ironing it, you take the design in front and place it wrong side, right side, and then you make sure that the design is accurately on, like the centers are aligning, and then you pin them down, pin everything down, and then you go and sew it the way you pinned it. So here we already came back from sewing and we're cutting the neck open and notching it so we can turn it and it will be neat. So after that, we turn the design to the front. So when you're done turning it, you start again, iron, so that it will be fitted. And make sure you notch that V area very well. And while you're notching it, make sure you don't cut it open, because people make that mistake a lot to just cut it open. So make sure you try your best not to cut it. So after that, you iron everywhere, everything. After you've done that, to secure the design so it doesn't move up and down when you're sewing, you just use your Emmy gum and then you take it to the machine, you turn it in by 1/2 inch. So here we had already done that and we've ironed it. So here we're just going to fold the arm by 1.5 inch and sew it. So after we've sewn it, we join our body together by 1 inch and then we hem the lower part of the dress. And that is the end of Solomon Brandy. That's the end of the beautiful dress, making your beautiful dress. So this is it, the beautiful dress. I hope, and I would love to see everybody's recreation at the end. Yeah, so tell me why you wouldn't love to own one of this beautiful dress. And if you stayed till this time, tell me why you have not subscribed to our channel. Thank you for watching. Bye.